I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site. Live Nation reports record revenue as ticket prices climb.
I'm Remy Blair in San Francisco. A promising drug filing is accepted by the FDA. Will this be one that delivers? And is it trick or treat for the biotech sector?
Hello and welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. The summer concert season ran at full throttle this year, giving the concert giant Live Nation Entertainment, the promoter of tours by U2, Luke Bryan, and One Direction, its biggest quarter on record. Live Nation, which puts on thousands of shows around the world and also operates Ticketmaster, had $2.6 billion in revenue during July, August, and September. Now, the summer months are usually the most critical for the concert business, and in recent years, the market has grown substantially as ticket prices climb ever higher and musicians turn to live performances to make up for declining record sales. Well, GNC had what one analyst called a conference call from hell. Technical glitches first delayed the call, then an erroneous announcement made several analysts miss a big chunk of it. And finally, management couldn't hear critical questions from the few analysts that were still present. It was a highly anticipated call, too, because it came after GNC had dramatically missed the mark on third quarter profits thanks to a botched discount strategy. And on top of that, Oregon's Attorney General just last week accused the nutrition store of selling dietary supplements that were spiked with banned substances. The end result wasn't pretty. The stock plummeted. And Skyworks Solutions has said the acquisition by PMC Sierra is aimed at boosting its products geared toward handling a growing class of computing chores known as the phrase big data. And following the deal, Skyworks has said it expects annual revenue of more than $4 billion with operating margins exceeding 40%. Well, we are still in the thick of earnings season, and despite the fact it's a Friday, lots of small cap stocks reporting today. So here's a rundown. Calix revenue beat estimates. Cardtronics also saw revenue beat estimates. Century Aluminum reported a far wider loss than expected. Control4's revenue missed expectations. Cray's results topped estimates. Digital Globe cut its yearly outlook. eHealth topped earnings estimates by a large amount. Fairway Group sales missed expectations. Fiesta Restaurant also missed. Genworth earnings fell short, and Maxwell posted a small profit where a loss was expected. Well, KeyCorp said that it has agreed to acquire First Niagara Financial Group in a deal valued at about $4 billion. This produces a tie-up of two regional banks at a time when such firms are grappling with low interest rates and burgeoning regulatory costs. It's one of the biggest bank tie-ups of the year, and it further solidifies 2015 as the biggest year for bank deals since the financial crisis. And grocery chain Fresh and Easy filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, and it does intend to wind down its business just 2 years after it was purchased out of an earlier trip through bankruptcy court. The money-losing California company said last week that it could no longer fund its business and intended to sell assets and wind down the company. Shares of Lipocine are recovering from Thursday's move lower. It's been a volatile week for the specialty pharmaceutical company. The FDA accepted its new drug filing. How important is that acceptance?
Hi Jane, as we head into the weekend, shares of Lipocine are back up. The small cap name is rallying by over 10% on Friday. Now, Lipocine develops oral treatment alternatives and has proprietary drug delivery technologies. As for that FDA acceptance, the company's new drug application for its lead product candidate, LPCN 1021, was accepted for testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT. Now, the product candidate is a twice-per-day oral product, and it is being evaluated as a replacement in adult males who have hypogonadism, and that term applies to the condition in which the body does not produce enough testosterone. As for the aim of Lipocine, it is to help deliver the correct dose and prevent some of the problems that are associated with current topical and injectable products. With topicals, inadvertent transfer is a potential problem, and with injectable, skin reactions as well as correct dosage are potential issues.
Tell me about Lipocine's patented technology, Liprol.
This proprietary technology is based on lipidic compositions that form what is known as optimal dispersed phase in the gastrointestinal environment. Basically, the goal is better absorption of an insoluble drug. Now, the Liprol technology helps deliver insoluble drugs efficiently to the intestinal absorption site. Some of the challenges to absorption include the physiological variables, including dilution, as well as pH levels and food effects. But the technology itself isn't without its challenges. challenges. There are concerns about dosage as well as liver safety issues. It is an option for oral TRT, and it does address the challenges of existing products.
Well, the markets are cheering the latest FDA move. Any other innovations in the pipeline?
Well, Lipocine has additional pipeline candidates. LPCN 1111 is a next-gen oral TRT product with once daily dosing, and it's currently in phase 2 testing. As for LPCN 1107 for women, it could become the first oral hydroxyprogesterone product for the prevention of recurrent preterm birth, and that candidate with orphan drug designation is currently in phase 1 testing.
And what about analyst reaction?
Well, next month, Lipocine will report earnings on November 9th. There has been recent volatility, but the stock has outperformed the S&P 500 and has posted a double-digit percentage gain since the end of the first quarter. The market cap for the pharma name stands at just above $226 million. As for recent analyst moves, Canaccord Genuity reaffirmed their buy rating with a price target of $15 a share.
Up next, we take you to Paris for the latest on the European markets and, of course, the small cap space. Small Cap Nation will be right back.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat-trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up their number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Stay low. Come on, Serena. Oh. You don't want me. Can't mess with this. Back to the top. Here we go. 2, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're gonna stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Graham, how have the European markets been behaving lately?
Well, Jane, we're seeing markets drift down again without much direction, except for the CAC 40, which picked up a bit. And they look like they're all going to close lower than they did at the end of last week. In London, oil, gas and parts of the banking system brought down the market, whilst in Paris, in fact, BNP Paribas results are the main reason that the CAC 40 has lifted. The markets are still mulling over the Fed's statements from last Wednesday. I don't know, what is a dovish hawk or a hawkish dove look like? So no real conclusions there. The euro has moved to parity, close to parity with the dollar, so I'm sure there are celebrations in Frankfurt tonight. Elsewhere, the European Commission review of business confidence came out flat, better than the actual downward trend that they were expecting. And CPI again was flat as well. The senior European economist at BNP Paribas said that they believe there is still some potential for past euro weakness to push core prices higher in the near term, and in particular in Germany the tight labour market and domestic price pressures we're probably going to build up quicker there than elsewhere in Europe.
Well, Graham, what are you looking at today?
Well, Jane, just before that, a quick pop quiz. Do you know how long the French working week is?
I'm not exactly sure. Why?
Well, apparently Jeb Bush does not, and his jibe about the French three-day work week has really raised hackles here. For the record, the actual work week in France for what is known as non-card lower level workers officially is 35 hours, but the actual average worked typically is 37.5 hours. To move on, firstly, defence contractor Schemring Group warned of a profit outlook for the full year was going to be severely dented because of a delay in revenues. The London-listed company said there was a realistic profit that its underlying profits for the year were going to fall by approximately 16 to 33 million on the back of a delay in a contract signed with the Middle East. Last month, it announced that it received orders of more than £100 million for a supply of 40mm ammunition to a Middle East country. That's a hell of a lot of ammunition. But the revenue from the contract has been delayed as this group is still waiting for necessary permits and export approvals. The problem obviously here is in the legal arms business there's a lot of bureaucratic overhead. Next, despite making a good start to the year, electronic component supplier Solid State warns that revenues for the rest of the year, in fact, will be well below expectations owing to a major contract being retimed. The AIM-listed company, which specialises in ruggedized computers and electronic components, etc., warned in a statement just released that contract variations and general market softening meant that its profits in its second half will be considerably lower than had been originally forecast and expecting. At a meeting with a client this week, delivery expectations were altered materially for a contract presumably delayed, which was one of the main revenue items for the second half of the year. Not unusual for small companies if their clients are suffering from reduced demand, it feeds back down the supply chain. And lastly, AIM-listed Altona Energy disappointed investors when its talks with its joint partners on a coal and gas project in South Australia had not progressed as well as hoped. Altona said that the discussions with the joint venture partners had become more protracted due to a change in focus of the project together with the complexity of the original joint venture agreement, exacerbated by the current volatility of global commodity markets. The board of Altona believes the partners remain committed to the project, the management said. However, no assurances can be given as to when the amended joint venture agreement will be finalised. Not untypical. Any negotiated deal usually takes longer and is more complex after the initial euphoria of the partnership is past.
So what do you think the lesson here is, Graham?
Well, there's no suggestion, Jane, really, that these companies are badly run. They have just exposed themselves to the risk that the delay or failure of a single transaction can significantly damage them. So I guess the point is that small caps are more vulnerable to financial shocks than their larger cousins. So for investors, you need to try and ensure that any company you're interested in is not exposed to the risk of any single transaction going bad.
Straight ahead, we take you to San Francisco for a big merger in the biotech space. Remy Blair has the story when Small Cap Nation returns.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
October is drawing to a close with a mixed action in the healthcare and biotech space. Now, as we head into Halloween weekend, any tricks or treats for small cap companies?
Focus in the space and the broader market has been on fundamentals, earnings, and IPOs, but there were also additional moves in a few West Coast companies. Santa Monica-based Kite Pharma is flatlining on Friday after Thursday's dip lower, and San Diego-based Arena Pharma is getting spooked off over 10% as we head into the weekend.
Kite Pharma saw a sharp move lower in the previous session. The decline came after its agreement with a private biotech. What was behind the dip?
Well, earlier this week, Kite Pharma announced an agreement with Alpine Immune Sciences. The research and licensing deal was signed with the Seattle-based private biotech, and the deal focuses on developing ways to use the body's immune system to target autoimmune disease and cancer. Separately, the clinical stage biopharma company's CEO and CFO unloaded 10,000 shares of Kite. The CFO, Cynthia M. Batista, sold shares of the business's stock in a transaction that occurred on Tuesday, October 27. Now, the stock was sold at an average price of $69.91 for a total transaction of $699,100. The transaction was disclosed in a legal filing with the SEC. The company itself will be reporting earnings on November 13th, and equity analysts have issued ratings. Now, Kite Pharma currently has a consensus rating of buy and an average target price of $81.85.
And for Arena Pharma, is the sell-off expected to continue?
Well, Arena Pharmaceuticals is down sharply on Friday. This does come as the company announced plans to cut costs and also improve efficiencies. Basically, Arena is slashing 35% of its workforce here in the U.S., cutting 80 positions. It is also shelving some of its clinical trials related to its flagship weight loss drug. These steps will reduce the company's operating costs. In Arena Pharma's recent quarterly filings, the company spent $24.2 million on R&D and $8.8 million on general as well as administrative expenses. In total, it reported a second quarter net loss of $26.8 million.
Straight ahead, what to buy, sell, and hold. The latest picks from the experts when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So Hat-Trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
In buy-sell hold actions today, Borg Warner was cut to sector perform at RBC. Cumulus Media also cut to sector perform at RBC. Peabody Energy slashed to hold at Stifel. People's Bank Corp cut to outperform at Raymond James. Pilgrim's Pride was raised to outperform at BMO, and Trimble Navigation was raised to outperform at Baird. Thanks for joining us on Small Cap Nation, and we'll see you back here Monday. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.